Monday, everybody. Think that music always makes it for a great warm up. It's definitely good to get hyped up. So hopefully you guys are hyped up on this Monday. I'll apologize in advance. My voice is a little bit kind of hit and miss, so it might disappear right at any moment. But we got Gil in the house, so Gil and I definitely know how to throw a party here in Gap, so you won't be disappointed. All right, we got this. How's it going, Gil?
Yeah, listen, I'm excited. I feel like I started this year very different. 2026 for me has been clean. Like I think that I have been more aware of time than I ever have. I feel like the time is moving super, super slow for me as I'm starting to really utilize the difference maker that made me make the jump 10 years ago. I feel like I'm doing that thing again. So, what I'm talking about and what we're going to be talking about today is the difference for like having a mediocre year and having an exceptional year. And there are some key ingredients that are necessary for this recipe for success. You must be cued in. So I'm going to share with you what it's been for me, right? Because I think that through hearing it from someone else, I think that's the power of being able to adopt it for yourself, right? So I'm going to tell you my mental model as I prepared this new year, as I began this new year, and as I count down the 360 days that are left, how I'm maximizing the rest of this year. I've said this on one of the Gap Masterminds before. My goal this year is to triple my net worth. That is no easy process, right? You have to be absolutely clear and decisive. If that's going to be the goal, well, what is necessary? Who do you need to become? What needs to be around you? What do you need to believe? And I'm going to break that down for you guys. Super simple. Carlos, I'm excited about you kind of architecting the new year. And if I'm allowed to say this, like I've kind of watched you transform in the last year. You went from like, oh shit, the world's falling on fire. My team's kind of going well to becoming number one on Zillow, going in there and kind of owning the pieces and really kind of pulling back things. And I feel like what happens when you go in there and you start digging in deep and you start realizing, okay, well, this part can be better. And you just start finding tuning, and all of a sudden you got a racehorse, right? And hopefully
Yeah,
you
and
guys
it
are.
comes with what you said, right? Like that intention. And I think going into 2026, that would be my first marching order for them to start thinking as we go into the topic today. Like, what is your one thing? What is that thing that requires the most energy from you that can make everything else easier or unnecessary? And as Gil was saying on my example with the team, hey, the team was in trouble. So it became my one thing, whether I wanted it or not. And everybody has been able to see the impact. So we're going to unpack a little bit of that. And I'm excited to hear Gil's journey as well, because he is super inspiring to me. You're one of the most consistent people I know. Like literally, that's why like you and I get along very well, because you're like very systematic, very goal oriented, big thinker, and very consistent with every area. So it's super inspiring. I'm just grateful always to have you as a friend and partner, because you move at a speed that inspires me every day. So excited to hear how you're going to triple your net worth for sure.
Yeah. And by the way, none of this comes easy. It comes with deliberate planning. And I feel like you guys know I made a commitment 2 years ago, and I felt like at that time I was getting into AI a little bit late at that time. And I was like, oh, was I wrong? Like AI is just starting right now. I made a commitment 2 years ago. It's like, I'm going to, first off, I invested in Microsoft that November when they launched. I was like, oh, I'm going in hard on this. I'm going to invest in the future. If you haven't done that, Microsoft is actually a really good price today. Second thing is I'm going to learn about this every day. Every day, I'm going to make it part of my identity. Every day, I'm going to make it part of my action plan. Every day, I'm going to create something. I'm going to design something. I'm going to think something at a higher level than I could ever do in 1,000 lifetimes. That's what ChatGPT has done for me and my family and allowed us to kind of just figure out, well, what does that look like? How do I triple my net worth in a 12 to 18 month period? It happens because I've got the plan. And by the way, with ChatGPT, if you guys haven't done a project on ChatGPT, like give it a project and see how long it takes you. My thing is with ChatGPT is I always say, ask me as many questions, but only one at a time until we can solve this problem. I'm 72 questions into a project right now. 72. And I'm like, holy crap. Like I would never even thought some of this through. So like if you're not using AI as part of your identity, like you have to be looking at that. So I don't want to steal the whole thunder. I want to start with you, Carlos, if you don't mind. Tell me what you're doing. Carlos, you hear me?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to switch my Wi-Fi here because this one is a little bit spotty.
Okay. Well, then I'll start off first then. You know, I'm gonna give you a very simple three-word uh, jumpstart on this meeting, right? And the first word is actually going to sound like a letter. It's the letter B, and it's believe, right? And I know that sounds so corny, and I used to sit in these classes a decade ago, and I think to myself, "Fuck, did I pay to see? Did I pay to be at this mastermind? Thank God this one was free for you." But I paid to be in masterminds for years and years and years, understanding that belief was the genesis of all greatness. Like every skyscraper you ever seen was built in somebody's mind and they believed it could be done. They had to convince somebody that it could be done. Like they had to literally come up with, hey, we're going to build the biggest building in the world right here. And they sounded crazy. But you know what I realized? My brain is terrible at fact checking. Your brain will believe anything you tell it. It'll believe that you're fat. It'll believe that you're ugly. It'll believe that you're good looking. And it'll believe that you're an athlete. And it'll start to develop these truths as they're being said, regardless if they're even true yet, right? So my mind, your mind is terrible at fact checking. In fact, I'm going to give you guys an experiment right now. It's called uh, the jacket experiment. All right. So I'm going to give you guys two jackets to wear. So if you guys will let me play this in your mind, you can wear any two of these white jackets, right? So you guys are lining up here. I'm going to hand you a white jacket. Half of you guys are going to get a jacket that looks kind of like a painter's shirt, right? A painter's jacket. It's all white. I'm going to give you a pair of pants to wear with it. You're wearing all white, right? And you're wearing the painter's jacket. And then half of you guys, when you guys line up, I'm going to give you a white jacket. Just looks a little bit different. It's a lab coat. Now, as you start walking around in the day and you start wearing this white jacket, whether it's a lab coat or a painter's white jacket or a white painter's white shirt, you might start believing different things. You might even start adopting some behaviors based on the jacket. So we're just going to really focus on that doctor's jacket. What might you believe? Would you believe that you're professional? Would people believe that about you by seeing you in that lab coat that you're a professional? Would they also believe as a result of that that you are maybe a patient person or that you think things through, that you're a problem solver, that you're an elite performer? There's definitely a different ideology uh, based on that jacket that you put on. So as I start building and believing this 2026, in my mind, I started thinking to myself, what does somebody who triples their net worth build? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be a billionaire or trillionaire this year, so I'm not going to go the whole white t-shirt, black t-shirt for the rest of my life. But I'm definitely going to be putting on a collar from here out. Like I think I'm going to be a little more professional this year. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the pocket there. And don't you feel that way sometimes? I mean, for me, before I got on this Zoom, I want you to know that I put on cologne. Now, none of you guys can smell my cologne, but it's there for me more so than you because it puts me in the ideology is I'm a professional right now. I'm not coming out in my pajamas, right? So I have to be and believe who I am every single day. I'm going to challenge you, especially for those of you that work from home, that you guys commit to every morning. Very simple. brush your hair, put on some cologne or perfume, and be a professional dress. You will act differently. Now, if you're getting up every morning, you're putting on your gym clothes or you're in your pajamas in there, you will act differently. And your consumers in 2026 deserve an even higher level from you. They deserve an absolute professional, both mind, body, and spirit. They must believe that you are the authority and you are ready to help them. And that begins with you being ready. So for me, commitment I made, besides working out and doing a few other things financially, was I'm going to show up every single morning committed and ready for work, even though I work from home. Predominantly, I'm not meeting people in my home for meetings, but I'm going to be prepared as if. I've got a chock full of freaking Zooms going on today. I've got a bunch of things I've got as far as priorities in there, but I am ready first thing in the morning to be able to be FaceTime to FaceTime if a client needs me. Be the plan. Be aware. Just write that down if you will. I'm going to get dressed up tomorrow morning. I'm going to be dressed up as if I am ready to meet that listing appointment because you know what? You might need to. You might get a call back from somebody and they might say, "Hey, I'm looking at this building. Okay, you're there right now. I'll meet you there at 2 o'clock. I'm on a Gap Mastermind right there. I'll be there at 2:15." Be ready to witness your greatness. Be ready, mind, body, and spirit. The other thing is you got to plan to be there. I've heard this corny plan too. I've heard this too. Too many things I've gone to, like 10x Mastermind and things of that nature. And it's like, if you're going to take us your business, you got to work your way backwards. Again, these super silly things that I took as like, okay, that sounds great, but how do I do that? Well, I kind of gave you a little hint of that. I put that in my chat GPT. I created a project, and it's the Gil Ramos Triple Threat Expansion Plan. That's what I named my project. I don't know what you're going to name yours, but it was the Gil Ramos Triple Threat Expansion Plan. And I went ahead and I asked my GPT, and I said, here's a little bit about me. Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Here's what's been my enemy. And I just keep asking it to ask me questions about why I'm not there, what needs to happen in there. I tell it about the people in my life. I tell it about the kids in my household. My wife is in there. My admin's inside there. Everything it needs to know to articulate a clear plan for me to be able to get the level that I want, to meet the right amount of people, to have the amount of leads that I need for buyers and sellers, to be able to attract the right agents and what are their needs and what are the compensation plans for their company. I just keep feeding my ChatGPT. I talk to ChatGPT all day long. If you saw me driving by, you'd think I was an idiot just talking to myself. I'm not singing, I'm talking to ChatGPT. I'm talking to it like a business partner. And I'm moving myself closer to locking in the mindset, to making measurable activities, to giving me, say, hey, what action plan do I need to do today? Hey, Gil, you need to send 10 text messages to your database. Okay, great. What else do I need to do? I need to send a DM to these 5 people. Here are my follow-ups necessary. And I ask it, what follow-up would you do if you were a top agent attractor? Who would you follow? Because it has my top 100 list. It knows exactly who they are. And I'm about to ask them, hey, can you go in there and take a look at their social media and tell me, give me 5 people I need to do a shout out for? Like I'm leveling up in a level that can only be accomplished if you've got a full-time dedicated partner that you're paying $20 a month for. And then the last thing is do. And the funny thing is, if you guys know anything about me, I always actions get results. I was always action first. It was never believe or do or think or plan. Those words were not first. Those were after I ran through the wall. Oh, maybe I should just run around it. But this new system, this new person that looks in front of you is utilizing the tools and resources that God and the world has given me. And I'm doing after, right? So I'm preparing myself and my mindset for greatness, and then I'm going to go do. Do. I'm going to ask you guys a question. I'm going to just double check. You're 5 days in this year. I'm going to give you 2 days off because we just had a weekend. Have you even given me 3 days of work yet? Have you given yourself 3 days of work? Have you given yourself 8 hours a day as a realtor? 8, 16, 24 hours. Have you put 24 hours of real estate, eyeball to eyeball? Have you been on 4, 6, 8 listing appointments in those last 5 days? How many buyer's consultations have you signed? If the answer is 0, then we got to get to work. It's nothing more than just doing at this point. It's about identifying those 100 people. The 100 number has always been the answer. The 100 people that are home to home that you should be asking them, just out of curiosity, what's your plan to win the year? Let me say that again as if you were going to write that down to text message a friend. Just out of curiosity, what's your plan to win the year? What if you actually did that 10 times a day for the next 10 days? Would you get a result? You damn right you would. What I'm telling you guys is we cannot miss the opportunity to do. We're 5 days into the year. You should already be in execution mind. You should already be looking at, am I going to conquer the quarter? Am I going to conquer this month? Conquer meaning that I'm going to absolutely be better by 300% than I ever was before. And it doesn't take, and by the way, just somebody asked me the other day about, somebody asked me, Carlos, about life balance a couple of days ago. And I was like, dude, you did like 3 million last year. You're talking to me about life balance? Like, you're not even close to even having that question. Don't ever ask me that question again. It's embarrassing. Like this year, and by the way, we only have a small window to capitalize and make more money than you ever had in your life. Because let me remind you, you're all getting older, right? So we better be working towards something. But these next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, this might be it. This might be it. You got to be all in to make as much money, your unfair share. I say it all the time because your family needs you. They need you more than they ever have. I don't care what you believe in the world, what's going on in the world. You can only control what's happening in your world and the work ethic you put to the world right now. And you let every single one know that you're showing up as a professional, that you look like a professional, you smell like a professional, and you're being a professional. That's my first little snippet I would tell you for 2026, and I'm all
Love
in
it.
5.
Yeah, and here's the thing, momentum doesn't happen by accident. Momentum is created, right? And the magic of God Mastermind, the magic of Global Alliance, the magic of our community is that you get to elevate with us. You get to hear that Gil is at 180 something questions of his creation, of his goals, of his momentum. Okay? It's not an accident, it's a creation. Now, how do you create your momentum? It's by staying consistent. Like I was complimenting Gil on his consistency. All right. People see Gil with, his big business, his success, his team, the office, the family. It's consistency, it's presence, it's deliberately, right? So, how do you do that for yourself? Well, the first thing is understanding that you need to do it at the beginning with the excitement that you have, but then you have to also continue doing it even when the results are not coming. Because always, when you start something, like everybody's excited right now, new year, 2026, it's going to be amazing, a lot better. Momentum is great. Guess what? Whatever it is that you're doing now, you're not going to see the full result of it right away. So you need to continue to do it even while it's not fun. And you're like, Carlos, I've heard that a million times. Okay, fair enough. Now, how many times do you quit before the breakthrough? How many times? Like we all do. We quit before the breakthrough. I love the example, Gil, of the guy that's in the desert and he's all, alone, walking, trying to find water. And then he goes and he sees a well of water. It's like, oh my God, water. Like this guy is dehydrating, thirsty, and finally finds a well of water, right? So what do? You're super excited, super motivated. Your problem is going to get resolved. You start pumping right away with energy,
Yeah.
with passion,
Yeah.
with enthusiasm. He's motivated. Okay, that will only get you so far. Because what happens is you're pumping and nothing is coming. You know the only thing that's coming? Doubt. Well, maybe this thing is empty. Maybe there's no water here. Fear. What if I die pumping this thing, wasting all my energy? And maybe there's another well that actually has water just a little bit farther away. Like I'm pumping here, but what if I'm wasting my energy here and I should be in the next well, right? And then you're pumping, and you're somebody that's hanging out with Gil, myself, with Gab, with Veronica, with Vincent, everybody in this call, and you stay motivated, you stay consistent. You're like, okay, these guys are telling me I need to keep pumping on the one thing. I need to keep pumping on this well that I'm in. So you continue. You continue. You keep it going. You look at Vince. Vince, should I keep going? Vince is like, you keep going. You look at Gil. Gil, should I keep going? Definitely keep going, right? You keep going. And then what happens? A drop of water comes out. Now, you have a choice. Remember, you're thirsty, tired, dehydrated. You've been pumping for a long time without seeing any results. Believe it or not, a lot of people quit right then and there. Why do people quit? You gotta be kidding me. Like, I've been pumping this hard. I've been putting all my energy into this one well. And all I get is one drop of water, Vince. Like, really? One? Like, you told me to keep going, bro. For one, like, little drop? A lot of people quit. A lot of people fail because they lack the belief that Gil was talking about. Like, when you believe with passion, when you believe you're pumping in the right well, when you believe you're picked the right one thing to focus on, that's going to change everything for you. It's going to make everything easier. When you have that belief, you build momentum because you have the breakthrough. Because once you keep pumping and you keep pumping, eventually a little bit more water comes out. Why? Because now you're better. You're mastering this thing. Your arm is getting a strength. And guess what? When the water starts flowing and you're like, oh my God, there was water here. I didn't need to go to the next one. Like, these guys were right. I should have stuck with it. And I did. I'm a hero. This is my journey. These guys are amazing. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Guess what? Becomes easier. Now, obviously, you have more energy because you're not thirsty anymore. You see the water flowing, so the belief is strong. And when the water is flowing, it's actually less strength to keep it going because you have that momentum. So momentum is built. Momentum is something that you create. Now, the challenge is you need to become the person that can go through that journey, to build the discipline, to build the identity, to build the rituals. I love that Gil was talking about the perfume. Jordan Belfort, who is like mastermind guy, he talks about that. Like, when you're on top, when you're succeeding, when you had a good sale, anchor it in. You want to anchor that in. Like, what was I wearing? How was I smelling? Right? How did I feel? What music did I listen to? Okay. And then guess what? Guess what? Make that a success ritual. I want you to write that down. This is one of the biggest keys. What is your success ritual?
Dude, I do that for everything, Carlos. I
Right?
even do that when the Magic win. Whatever I was wearing when they won, I'm gonna wear it for the next game, right? And then,
Boom.
by the way, if they
Yep.
lose, then somebody tampered it. Something changed it because winning has a routine. Winning loves consistency, right? If you
Yep.
if we won because we were shooting threes, we're gonna shoot freaking threes until somebody stops us. Like, to be honest with you, I love that. You know what's funny though, Carlos? When I first met you, you were a blue and white suit guy. Every time you went on a kill when you were going after a whale, every time you were meeting somebody important, every time you were going to go do a presentation, your power thing was that blue suit, white shirt. You were going to, and I was like, oh, he's ready to play. He's got his
Yep.
uniform on. He's going out to take the field and he's going to go win, right? And we do these things subconsciously, but I've been, Jordan Belfort's one of those guys that I've
Yep.
long loved to kind because he articulates growth. And by the way, let me remind all of you guys, and I've watched it 2 times now. If you guys have never heard of Jordan Belfort, he's the Wolf of Wall Street. He is actually in our Gap Master, I mean, our university.
Global
You
Alliance
can go in
University.
there. Yeah, you can go in there and log in and watch that. What a great way to start the year, because we've said this before in a previous Gap Mastermind. It's like this is the year of skill. You better have some sales skills. If you don't give yourself a 9 or 10 on skills, like you need to go in the university. We've already paid for it. You actually have a mastermind there of Jordan and Belfort articulating how to sell. He goes over the whole process. Even one of the things I love the best is about how you sing the close, right? And how you go through and you bring somebody through the process of saying yes. It is such a scientific method. It is not an art. I used to believe that sales was an art. I used to believe you either got it or you don't. And believe me, when I first started the business, I didn't got it. I was terrible. I tell people all the time, I used to hang up on myself. I was not good at this real estate business. I was not good at sales. I had to learn. Thank God I realized that making money and doing sales was a arithmetic problem. It was take this algorithm and go through it. A plus B equals C. If I give them what they want in a way that serves me, they say yes. And it wasn't hard for me to realize, especially after watching Jordan Belfort, and understand. I just give them more of what they want. So how do I figure out what they want? I ask them, hey man, what would make it a great year for you? What's stopping you right now? I'd love to help you with that. Let's go work on that together. Let's lock arms. Let's do this, right? And yeah, so skills, if you go, can you remind them where they get that, where they can watch that class, Carlos?
globalallianceuniversity.com. If you go into the Global Alliance University, which all of you guys should have an account, and go into the courses, that one should be under next level coaching. The Jordan Belfort course in there is worth thousands of dollars. We have exclusive access to it. It's incredible. It will make you a sales machine. And that's one of the examples of, hey, are you going to be committed or interested? Interested is like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to go check it out. Or you made a commitment today. You know what? These two guys are saying this is the bomb. It's done. I'm committed. And I'm going to go into the university and I'm going to complete that training. It's going to change
But you know what
everything
some
for you
people
in
will do,
2020.
Carlos? They'll be like, man,
Yeah.
that sounds good. They'll go to Global Alliance University and maybe they don't know the password or whatever. And they'll be like,
Mhm.
next, let me go wash the clothes. Let me go do the dishes. Let me go play on my phone, right? Dude, you got to be committed to your skills. There should be a time per week where you are upgrading, right? And you're putting skills in. I've got 2 or 3 spots on my calendar where I'm upgrading my AI skills, upgrading my CRM skills, upgrading my sales skills. I'm still doing that. I don't know everything there is about sales. If I did, I'd be batting 1,000, but I don't. I lose a few and I got to go back and figure out why. I'm trying to make it to a class tonight. So the reality is you got to be upgrading your skills. My wife right now left me for the week. She's over with Joe Dispenza trying to upgrade her skills in a spot where I feel like she's already got it figured out. She's already in alignment. She's already got like, how to keep herself engaged and how to like go into the next level and meditate and things of that nature. I feel like but she's still trying to get better. When you do an
Yeah, it goes
assessment
back
of
to that
yourself,
mastery, right? So when you know your one skill, and maybe you guys need to pick one skill, right? Like what is the one skill that you need to become a master at? That you're literally going to be world class, the best in the world, no one better, and you're going to continue upgrading that skill. And I use a hack. So, I use jam sessions. So jam sessions is something I learned from Darren Hardy. Here's the challenge with us. We get distracted very easily. So we need to make sure we tame those distractions. We're all human. It will happen. Distractions come in all forms and sizes, right? So we need to create a bubble around us to tame those distractions because you can have the plan, you can have good intentions, you can be motivated, you're going to be committed, you're going to be consistent, but then the distractions get the best of you. Okay, so what are some of the things that normally derail you from your momentum? That you're like, man, I was doing so good, and I have a one bad day, and it turned into a bad week, and now it's a bad month, and now it's a bad year, right? So, what are those demons that normally derail you? Awareness is key. So, you need to jot down what are the things that prevents you from your greatness. Okay. Then you decide your one big thing. Okay. And then every day you wake up and you think about, okay, what is the task that I need to focus on today that will get me closer to my one thing? Right. So what is that task? And you might have three for the week, your most valuable priorities. You might have three for the week, but today, what is the one thing that if I did today, focus, intentional, it would make this day a win? Win the day, win the week, win the month, win the year, right? So what would make this day a win? But Carlos, I have a million things to do. That's the problem. You need to edit. You need to edit. All right. You need to put tons of energy. Anybody that's doing big things, they put tons of energy into their number one priority. That's why Gil was laughing at the person that's like, life balance, Gil. Like, how do I accomplish that? It's like 3 million. You get to 10 million, and then
We start a
maybe we can
conversation.
talk about adding a little bit in there. Okay. Just keep
Yeah.
going, man.
Yeah. At 10
So
million, you get one vacation.
yeah, yeah. So definitely you look at the one thing that you're going to do and create a bubble of silence. So the bubble of silence start with your success ritual, right? So for me, I'm always making some tea. I don't do anything important without having my tea around, or depending on the time of day, I'm already in coffee mode. So maybe I'll have some coffee, but that's key. Play some music to start, right? So I might play some music to get me going. Like here in Gap, we had, some music going on, and that gets me, pumped up going. So I got my tea, I got my music, and I have a timer. This is a new one that I just got. This is a jam clock timer. So what is this device? This device is a helper for me. It's something that keeps me focused because I'm going to set this on a timer, whether it is 30 minutes, 60 minutes, up to 90 minutes. And during that time period, I'm blocking all distractions, all of it, because the brain takes about 5 minutes or so to reach a state of concentration. And for some people, it's more. All right. But if you're answering a text message, or if you're answering an email, or if you're answering, I got a minute at the door, every 5-10 minutes, you're getting interrupted. Okay. You need to set boundaries that prevent you from getting interrupted so you can do your best work. Focus. The study was actually done, and when you're multitasking, when you're doing more than one thing, giving your energy to more than one thing at a time, it's almost as if you were driving impaired, whether you're high, drunk, lack of sleep, whatever. So don't run your business impaired. Run your business at your best by focusing. Now, you might still answer one DM from an emergency or from your one thing, sure, but you're blocking everything else. All the emails, all the social media, all the knocks at the door, everything else gets blocked, and you're focusing on your task for that time period. That doesn't mean you're going to finish it. That just means you're going to give it energy during that time focused. All right. And depending on the flow of the, sorry, depending on the flow of your business, it might be a 3-hour jam session. Maybe you take 1 10-minute break in between. It might be a whole day. Go do a retreat and plan your year. Focus, full day. Go to a luxury location, the beach, the mountains, whatever. Inspiring, and just do that. Create a plan. And then in order for you to have the momentum, you got to create a consistency. Now, when you create that consistency, that identity, that person that you become, that every day does this thing, and you track it, you become unstoppable. Now you're not waiting on feeling, you're following a system of big momentum. Like I track how many jam sessions I do, right? So this week, I want to do 10 Jan sessions. That's my priority. 10 Jan sessions into my number one priority. Focus intentional. Okay. And as long as I'm hitting those goals every week, big progress happens. Big momentum happens. I'm able to maintain it and I'm able to crush whatever I'm focused on. So, once again, just exhorting you to figure out what that is for you.
You know, I feel like every person that wins has that one person who's like their mental mentor, right? For you, it's always been Darren Hardy, right? So it's built into like the way you think about having a compound effect that you do over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I was able to, I'm going to put it in the chat, find a free copy of the, actually, you guys don't even need to go in there. Just go and Google Darren Hardy PDF book. And it's on the Loyola College of Science. They have a copy of the PDF of the book. You know, if your one thing for you is not skills, right? Maybe that one thing for you is the procrastination, which I used to believe is true. I used to believe that I procrastinate. I used to believe that procrastination was something that was real. And then I heard a speaker one time say this story, and I was like, oh, oh, I've been called out. I've been seen. It's not true. Like he basically was a very quick story. It was like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $3 million. You meet me at the beach at 5 a.m. Be at the beach and wear white shoes and a blue shirt, and I'll give you $3 million. And the person was like, I'll be there at 4:59, wearing those white shoes and that blue shirt. And you realize it's never a procrastination problem. It's a priority problem. See, that person prioritized he was going to be on the beach at 4:59. In fact, that probably person would be at the beach at 4 o'clock in the morning. He was not going to miss out on that $3 million. And you have to ask yourself, well, why wasn't this a priority? Now, here's the deep truth, and you can ChatGPT this if you want to and really kind of go deep on yourself, is it's not only it's not a priority, is sometimes you just don't believe it's true, right? Some of you guys get phone calls from blessings, people that call you and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a property. I'll give you an example. How many of you guys reject this text message? Hey, I'm looking for a fix and flip. If you got any fix and flips, just send them over to me. I'm looking for something that I can put some work into. And you know that you're not the only person that got that text message, right? You know that that text message went to 50 other agents, and you just ignore it, even though there's a live buyer on there. What I would have you do is just take that process personalize that text message to you. And I've done this twice now, and both times I got the person to text me back. Say, hey man, I absolutely have a few properties on there. I have a buyer premium for my investors program. It's a 5% commission plan, but you will absolutely make that up in spades. But tell me first more about your buy blocks personally. What are you trying to accomplish? What's your portfolio currently? And are you willing to close this month? And when I get that response back to me, now that's a lead. Because now I have personal relationship. So how many of you guys could you actually, next time you get one of those copy paste text messages from one of those investors, like volleyball that back, turn that into a personal relationship. Call the person. Say, hey man, are you in Orlando? Are you in Texas? Are you in New York? Tell me more what your buy box is. It's like I'm looking to work with I got a few investment properties, but I'm only looking to work with a few key people that are looking to put in some major work, right? I know you said this text message to a lot of people, but I'm not a lot of people. I'm the guy you were looking for. Second thing, you guys have people who you're meeting every single day at a party, at an event, at some place, and they're telling you your goals, and they're telling you their fears, and and you're not putting them in your database. Like every single person you meet gets put in the database, and all of you guys have database on your cell phone now. You just add them in there and just put a follow up for tomorrow, for the next day, for 3 days from them, and then put why you're going to follow up with them, and then do the follow up. Hey man, I was talking to this guy at the library. I was at the library today for an event that already put up in there. And I talked to a guy at the library who worked at the library, and he's thinking about getting real estate. Did a follow-up with him. He's taking his class. Hey man, no problem. Let me know when you're a little farther in. I do classes to help people get who are brand new in the business, do deals first. I got a proven repeatable system. I call it fast track. In 90 days, I'll get you under contract with a client and start making your dream a reality. How does that sound to you? Awesome. Just text me this number when you're about to take the class. Text me the night before you take the class, and I'll give you a final review sheet. This way you can guarantee yourself to pass the class or at least improve your odds. Bet. Right? And what I'm doing is I'm putting in follow-ups for follow-ups for follow-ups. Hey man, text me the night before you take your class. I don't want to hear after you pass your exam. After you pass your exam, everybody's freaking texting you then. I want it the night before you're about to take that test. I'll send you a review sheet. Okay? Guys, opportunities are coming to you right now. Put your antennas up. There's business coming to you all the time. Put your antennas up. And that comes down to back into my first thing. You got to be, right? You got to be the guy who's looking for deals. You got to be the guy who's looking for agent attraction. You got to be that person who's ready, dressed, and in perfume, ready to crush the day. So when those opportunities come in, you look at them differently.
You said that, Gil, the antennas, right? Because, you were talking about colors earlier, and it reminded me of something, right? So you know how, like, Tony Robbins in the audience during the events, right? He's like, look for this color, right? Like how many things do you see that are brown? And intentionally,
Right.
there's only a few brown things, and you're like, you find them, you're like, okay, you found two brown things, great. Now, how many things are red that you saw without looking? It's like, oh, I didn't see no red. Red was everywhere, but the antenna wasn't looking for red. And it goes back to, do you have clarity on your vision, right? Like, what is it that you're after? What is it that you're looking for? That antenna that Gil is talking about aligns you with what you're looking for. Have you ever had a desire to buy a new car and all of a sudden you see that car everywhere? There's a part of your brain called the reticular activation system that literally sees what you want everywhere. It starts looking for ways to get you what you want. It's not like something elusive, magical, the secret. Is science. Science. When you tell your brain exactly what your one thing is, what your desire is, what you want, it will conspire to show you those opportunities. Like, for example, if my opportunity is to recruit agents and I want to grow my rev share organization, and I'm in that networking event that Gil is talking about, and the agents are talking about their goals, or somebody wants to get into the industry, my antenna is going to be like, cling, 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 opportunity. If I could care less, I'm bored. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Or maybe it's a good friendship connection or whatever. I'm focused on something completely different. All right. That is the importance of knowing what is your one big thing that you're after. And you're going to see it everywhere. You're going to see opportunities everywhere. You're going to see the universe conspire to get it for you. And as long as you're a person of action that actually takes action on the opportunities that get you closer to your thing, it's game over. And I'll tell you, and that's why I love the Global Alliance, because we have a mixture of rock stars on everything. On everything. The one thing that you guys need is environment to keep you believing, to keep you moving forward. But we have people crushing it on YouTube, people crushing it on Instagram, people crushing it with systems, with Zillow, with Teams, with Realtor.com, with like cold calling, expires. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your one thing is. You decide what is the big thing that you're focused on. You decide what is important to you. I'll tell you, you can want to sweep floors for a living, and you hang out with us, you keep showing up, you're going to be the best freaking floor cleaner in the world, and you're going to create freaking amazing value for people, and you will get rewarded for that. So,
Speaking of hanging out with us, I want to
hmm?
hang out with you guys. Speaking of hanging out with you guys,
Yeah.
I want to hang out with some of you guys. Some of you guys I haven't seen in a while. So the
Yeah.
CBE, that's where I'm going to be this year. Does anybody know what CBE is? It's actually an acronym for the three places I'm going to be today, this year. This year, those are three places I'm going. Somebody guess for me what CBE stands for. Those are the three places I'm going to get on a plane and go to, or maybe not a plane, but I'm going to
I
go
won't do it because
someplace out of the
it'd be
norm.
cheating if I told them, but
CBE. I know you already know, and I think Rebecca figured it out. A few other people already figured it out. But
yeah.
let me hear from
Probably
Gigi or
no,
Misty or somebody
but we'll
else.
let the
All right, so Gino says B stands
yep.
for Bill, and
Gina's got the
absolutely.
first one.
Yeah, yeah. So CBE, what's C stand for? Somebody yell it out. It's coming up soon. Cabo Build EXPCon. Rebecca, of course you know the answer. I want to be at Cabo 26. I haven't missed a Cabo since I've joined EXP in 2019, or in fact, it wasn't even Cabo back then. It was Puerto Vallarta, but I don't miss them. I'm going to be in the Build cruise. Not missing that. If build was unbelievable last year, and we're going right back out there and we're going to duplicate and get even better. And I darn sure going to be in EXPCon this year. I'm going to get to see snow. Like, let's go. Well, I don't know if there's going to be snow or not, but I'm going to make sure I see snow while I'm out there. So let's talk about the Cabo 26, Build 26, EXPCon 26. Carlos, if you could kind of just start us off on that. Well, I'll
Well, as
talk
you
Cabo.
said,
I'll talk Cabo.
yeah,
Cabo
Cabo is coming right around
26.
the corner, and I'll
Yeah.
let you jot
Yeah, I'll
down
do
the details.
Cabo. Cabo26.com, Brent Cove's event. It's definitely something. If you've got somebody that you're thinking about that might want to be interested in joining EXP, I don't think anybody leaves Cabo without saying yes. And it just comes down to, hey man, you want to go to an amazing place with amazing people and learn amazing things? Like that's the script. Hey, you want to go to an amazing place with amazing people and learn amazing things? I learned how to heal my dad from Gary Brecker, who, by the way, is going to be there again this year, who talked to me about pep times, who talked to me about life extension, talked to me about, I caught him in the hallway, and for 3 minutes, he let me record him and create a message for my father who had a issue for a decade. And by the way, hasn't and was in the hospital like almost once a quarter. And at the end, when we thought we were going to lose him, almost every few weeks. My dad in 2 years had been in the hospital only one time since the time I met Gary Brecker. Literally has the ability to change your life, right? It's been an amazing thing for me to help my dad get healthy. I started bowling with my dad as a result of Gary Brecka. Like I'm in a bowling league, and by the way, I'm pretty darn good. I'm actually want you to know that I bowled my very first 600 series last week, 655. If you don't know what that means, just say it's good, right? It's pretty damn good. I bowled a 244 and 245, and I'm 191. So that's pretty proud of that. But that came from a result of desire to have more time with my dad at Cabo. Cabo26.com. It's an amazing. I think it's coming up very, very soon, in a couple of months. The next one is the Build Gap Cruise, the Build Cruise. So the Build Cruise is July what? 7th?
Ninth,
9th. July 9th.
9
Okay.
to 12. Yep.
July 9th through 12th. How do they sign up for that?
Rebecca maybe has the pre-sign up, but we're working on
Let's get
the
that.
rest of the stuff,
Let's
the
get that in the
official
chat.
sign
If
up.
you guys are here on this call
Now,
right now, we'll get you guys a message. I'm going to tell you right now, be ready. Unfortunately, we can only hold maybe 200, maybe 250 people for that cruise because of the books, the reservations we get. Like it will sell out fast. The moment it goes out, it'll be something that it'll change your life. I can tell you the people that came to it last year left differently. I look at Nick Krem and what he's even doing with his 100,000 push-up challenge and just the spiritual changes that people made just being there. It's not always about dollars. It's about the person you become along the way, right? And I'm very proud of that cruise and the development that we all took being there. And then there's EXPCon, which will be in Salt Lake City later in the year. Those are the three places that I'm going to be at. Misty, I'd love to see you at one of those events. I haven't seen you at a big event in a while. Cabo's a good one starting up soon. Be at the Build Cruise. Be with your community, right? You really want to grow with people. That's the one part that makes it sticky. It's easy to ignore growth if you're doing it by yourself. Oh, I'll just do that another time. But when you buy your ticket and you show up, you don't have anything but the possibility of growth. It happens whether you're ready or not. You will be shook Ed Milet was there last year, and I will tell you there wasn't a person who didn't cry. It is an amazing experience to be around these amazing people in amazing places to learn amazing things. So I hope to see all
And
you guys
here's the
there.
thing. What I was gonna say about all these events is Global Alliance always represents, brings magical experience, and our leaders are leading. Like Rebecca and Mike are emceeing over in Cabo. Like, just think about that. Like, our people are running the show over there, so you don't want to miss it. It's amazing. I love it. Gil is always getting everybody to excursions and experiences and other theaters. It's just incredible, an incredible event. Was get the audience because I really, really, really want this gap to be the gap where you decide, I'm not losing my momentum. This year, I'm going to run like my life depended on it all year long. Like, I'm committed to do it when it's not fun, when I'm doubtful, when I'm feeling like, it's not going to work, when I'm feeling like I should go somewhere else. Did I pick the right thing? Okay. So I want to help some people get some clarity first. If you don't know if you're distracted, if you're like, what are all the things I need to focus on? Like, okay, what is the big thing? It could be this is the year I'm making $100,000. All right. And what are the three valuable things, the three pillars that help you make 100,000 or 100 extra thousand? Right. It could be that you're growing your revenue share to 20,000 a year and growing your production 70,000. Right? Maybe that's it. And then the third one is you're making sure you're fit, you have the energy, the emotional support. It could be that fires you into the 100,000. Okay. But ultimately, I want to make sure you're clear on what you're after. And sometimes it's not three things that get you your one thing. Sometimes your one thing is driven by one simple thing, and you just focus on that. So the clarity, if anybody's not clear, I would love to know that. And the second thing is an offer to reach out to us. I mean, I'm super passionate about momentum, about consistency, about systems to help you break through walls and continue. Like, if you're distracted and you call me, I'm the guy. Like, literally, I'll tell you to focus. I'll tell you to prune. I'll tell you to make sacrifices. And I'll tell you to focus on one thing. So reach out. I would love to talk to you if you're distracted because and now you got to trust the process. If you committed to YouTube in January 1st, and that's your one thing, and you believe in it, and you're literally gonna put your life on the line to be a YouTuber and get leads with YouTube or Instagram. And I mention those things because those are the hotness, right? Like, I get leads in other ways, but those are things that people are like, man, maybe I should become a YouTuber. Okay, if you decide to become a YouTuber, you spend all year focused on becoming a YouTuber, you'll become a YouTuber. Now, that doesn't mean that then you don't add another thing. Absolutely, you do once that one has the momentum, right? Once that oil well or that water well is going, you can build the next one and the next one, all right? So, who wants to chime in that needs clarity or that, maybe you want to tell us and make a commitment towards your big thing, giving you some space to do that.
Hey, I'll jump in.
Hit it.
I loved how you talked about is it the jam clock timer?
Heck yeah,
I
this
get
one is incredible,
distracted.
by the way.
I get distracted a lot. Oh my God, I think I have one somewhere. I need to
This is
unbury
my
it.
jam clock timer. I actually use it.
Oh,
I set it. My kids know not to interrupt me. In fact, my jam clock timer was on there only if, and my daughter passed me a note because she wanted to share something with me. I'm like, oh, I'm not even gonna look at it yet because she knows. Like during that timer, I'm in my production spot. I cannot be
Yeah.
messed with. Like I'm going to be, kids are off from school today. So like I'm here to work. What I would tell you guys is there's a lot of different apps too that you can also, I'm actually going to be showing it to my team later, uh, that you can start putting on your phone to help you from distractions because it's so easy to just like your finger just goes and clicks on like Instagram or TikTok or something of that nature. Just get into a spot. I'll tell you the one we're going to be using is called Opal. and it allows you to say, I don't want to be distracted between 8:30 to 11:30, right? Because I've determined that I'm a top producer. And during 8:30 to 11:30, top producers all do the same thing. They prospect. They don't play on TikTok. They don't play on Instagram. So if you say, "Hey, I am a top producer," then you probably have Opal app or something like that on your phone, or maybe you just have that kind of like, I just don't distract myself. I don't have that ability to do so, so I have to have things like this on my system. So this way, I can't even allow. And by the way, once you put that on your phone, it's annoying as hell to try to get Instagram or TikTok or something of that nature during that 8:30 to 11:30. Like it's like 17 different things you've got to get through to try to get through it. And it's not even worth it, right? So it will recondition some of your behaviors. Maybe you guys can do that one. It's an easy app, but there's plenty of them. For some of you guys iPhone people, you like to use put do not disturb. The problem with that is you also stop customers from calling you during that time period. So I don't particularly love that one. But just stop yourself from being distracted. It's important.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
shout out
think we
to
have to
Jules who
reclaim our
just
time.
put it in the cart and just taking action immediately. Great job.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. We
Go
have to
ahead,
treat
Rebecca.
our time with priority because it's the one thing that we don't get back. And I feel like as I look back, there's so many things that I've accomplished, but I also know there's a lot of time that I wasted that I could have done so much more if I was more intentional. So that's, I think the thing for me this year is that I'm going to be more intentional with my time and really prioritizing the events that I need to be on, the webinars that I need to be on and the people who I keep around me. So, but specifically, it's the doom scrolling and everything else that happens that with the phone. We have to either leave the phone outside of our offices, or I love the app that you shared with us. I don't know if I can get that. What was it? Opal app? You said Opal.
Opal.so. I put it in the chat.
Opal
Um,
dot. Oh, so that
yeah,
I can
there's a lot
reclaim
of apps that'll stop you from like, and what you do is you're going to put in there when you use Opal, you'll put down what do you want it to protect yourself from, right? So for many of you guys, it's TikTok or it's like Instagram or something of that nature, whatever you're using, and say, okay, I don't want to use that from this time to this time, right? And what's going to happen is you're still going to want to go there because your mind's already been preconditioned to go check those things, but you've already in your more intelligent mind said, hey, listen, I'm going to put boundaries for myself to make sure that I keep space for effectiveness, to keep space for my own greatness, to keep space for my production, to keep space for my affirmation, for anything that you're supposed to be doing during that time period.
Yeah, Rebecca says something that is very key, right? Like what Zooms, what events. So, like, what education are you going to participate in? It should be the education, the masterminds that support your one thing, your vision, your goal, your big, hairy, audacious endeavor for this year. And even if you go to a place like EXPCon where you have a little bit of everything, when you're clear on why you're there, it makes such a big difference. When you go to Cabo and you're clear on why you're clear because, I'm going to Cabo because I'm building a team. I want to hang out with big team leaders. I'm going to seek them out. Or I'm building my brand. I want to check who's crushing it with brand. Let me hang out with them and go deep with those people. So as you can see, everything, every decision, when put through the filter of your big thing, leads you to it faster. So we're here to support you. This is Gap Mastermind environment where you come looking for support with your thing, and you're gonna get it every single week. And same with everything that we come and bring you in the Global Alliance. So those are my last words here. Gil, any parting words?
Man, I hope to see you guys soon. Honor yourself and be productive. We're 5 days into this year. Make this fifth and sixth day incredible. Start the behaviors that you need to feed your family, to thrive, to build the legacy you desire. Attract people onto these calls. Let them know that we have some value here, and then we can help them get their business to where it needs to be. I'd love to be the value to each and any one of you, any way I can be. Carlos, anybody on this call, would love to help you out. But be productive. Own your time. Be the person that you desire to be. minute through minute throughout the day. And if you are going to be distracted, give yourself a little distracted time. So, you know what? I'm going to allow myself to be distracted between this time to this time. From this time, I'm just going to have garbage time. You need a little bit of that because as much as I'd love to be a machine, I'm not a machine. I need some time where I'm going to just allow my mind to just be, you know what? I'm just going to watch this Netflix. I'm just going to go play this game or whatever. I'm just going to do a few things that allow me to just have nothing. But in between those spots, I'm going to be everything. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make sure that I don't lose the seconds or minutes of the day. I'm already 5 days in this year and I want to take advantage of the next 360. I hope you have a great day. I hope you guys are excited, and I hope to see you in Cabo. I hope to see you on the Build Cruise, and I hope to see you at the EXP Con. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.